The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome to TV1 News. I'm Jemima Sugbat. In this edition, Dr. Tom shares health sector reforms, MP questions expensive oil and gas, and RLWC set for kickoff. Member for Hiri-Koyari Keith Iduhu raised questions without notice in Parliament this week regarding the Kone-Bada Petroleum Park Authority. He demanded answers from the minister responsible, Richard Maru, while asking Prime Minister to take note.
For the past 15 years, the Kone-Bada Petroleum Park has been wasting away and has not benefited the people of Hiri-Koyari. Newly elected MP for Hiri-Koyari Keith Iduhu said though the initial plan was a good idea at first, it became evident it was a money-making scheme for a few individuals who have taken advantage of the land. Iduhu raised questions in Parliament this week, expressing concern and the unfair treatment accorded to his people due to incorrect processes applied in the creation of KPPA.
Scam, but a big 23,000 hectare scam where individuals have become millionaires overnight by leasing land, or worse still, selling land illegally through direct exchange or share transfers, Deputy Speaker, to companies knitting clothes, selling fish, living in houses as residences while working elsewhere.
The member wants ICAC to investigate the entire KPPA authority, staff and anyone who has bought land or claims has title. Since being appointed Minister for the Kone-Bada Petroleum Park, Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru confirmed that there was an investigation into the affairs of the petroleum park. He also confirmed that the land has been sold all over the place without serving its purpose and people have gained financially out of the KPPA.
I've now taken a submission to Cabinet to immediately appoint the board and management of the Special Economic Zone Authority to preside over investigation and see what we can do and come back to Cabinet within 3 months on where the assets, is there any way we can repossess the land, what monies are left, what bills are outstanding, so we can inform Cabinet and make recommendations on the way forward.
Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
In preparation for the compilation of the Medium-Term Development Plan 4, a consultation workshop was held at the Gateway Hotel recently by the Department for National Planning and Monitoring and attended by donor partners and stakeholders. A review of the Medium-Term Development Plan 4 by a consultant, Dr. Gumoy, led the technical discussions. The meeting was graced by the presence of 2 Vice Ministers of National Planning and Monitoring, assisting the Prime Minister.
Secretary for the Department of Planning and Monitoring, Connie Samuel, acknowledged the presence of bilateral partners and donors, including relevant embassies, high commissions, and the UN agencies with the World Bank.
I would like to see the Medium-Term Development Plan 4 as the game changer for our country. With its real resolve and commitment from all our partners, we would like to see a lot of visibility in what you bring to the country. And we believe that we cannot do without your support. We have a lot of gaps, financing gaps in this country, and domestically we can only finance few things, and your support is extremely important, both in terms in kind and in cash.
The 2 Vice Ministers assisting the Prime Minister are both first-time parliamentarians but equipped with knowledge and experience to point discussions in the right direction.
Under these two vice ministries and our various responsibilities, we want to get straight to work to push the development agenda under the Marape Rosso government. And the meeting here is to achieve clarity and garner your support as we move forward with the MTDP4 formulation.
Meanwhile, Vice Minister Phil thanked the donor agencies for their unwavering support. They realized that there is lack of alliance within the government sector to the key policies and priority areas. Vice Minister Nomane urged the partners to perfect their support with the one or two areas of need they pick. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
Progress on the higher and technical education reform was shared in Parliament on Thursday. The statement made by Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology and Sports, Don Poulier, addressed calls for fostering demand-driven and sustainable higher and technical education in Papua New Guinea through strategic interventions to support socio-economic development.
In Thursday's Parliament sitting, Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Don Poulier, gave an overview of the progress of higher and technical education reform. Poulier's inaugural statement called for fostering demand-driven and sustainable higher and technical education in PNG through strategic interventions to support socio-economic development. He stated that the implementation of the higher and technical education reform is tied to the following 5 key result areas: transfer of budgetary allocation from the affected agencies to DHERST, establishment of governing councils for transferred higher education institutions, and the implementation of governance manual for public higher education institutions, and transfer of private sector registration and accreditation functions from National Training Council to DHERST and institutions.
I'm pleased to inform this Parliament that progress has been made in each of these 5 key result areas since 2021. In the last 12 months, 39 higher and technical education institutions that are state and church-owned institutions have been administered by DHERST. There are 32 transferred institutions being transferred from departments and agencies to the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Technology.
He added that in the 2020 national budget, this transfer of institutions and functions were complemented by transfer of recurrent budget lines for teacher colleges and technical colleges. Transfer of recurrent budgets of nursing and agriculture colleges is anticipated in the 2023 national budget. Others will follow. Jasmine Nero, TV1 News.
Member for Rai Coast and Vice Minister for International Trade and Investment, Kesi Sawang, raised in Parliament concerns on the expensive oil and gas in the country. She questioned the Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Kua, on whether or not a cheaper energy will be made available for Papua New Guineans.
Concerns were raised in Parliament on Thursday about the expensive oil and gas in the country. Member for Madang Rai Coast and Vice Minister for International Trade and Investment, Kesi Sawang, questioned the Minister for Mining and Petroleum, Kua, if cheaper energy will ever be made available to Papua New Guineans. During her supplementary question, she addressed the inequality that exists in the benefit-sharing arrangement in the extraction of the country's natural resources.
Are we going to reform the existing Oil and Gas Act 1998, which is not benefiting our people, and have Papua New Guinea have a fair share in the benefit sharing? Number 2 issue, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is this. We need cheaper energy to attract foreign direct investment, downstream processing, manufacturing, and moving PNG towards industrialization. What defies logic, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is this. We are blessed with so much energy, oil and gas. We extract, ship overseas, and we import the finished products at much higher cost. And we produce energy to only 13% of our people. Are you going to provide cheaper, sustainable, and accessible energy to Papua New Guinea?
Minister Kua stated that the Oil and Gas Act up repressively against the people of PNG and the state, and since the Marape Basil and Marape Rosso government has been in office, and they have been looking for ways to reform the existing statutory regime.
But that's the law. It is the law that's been made by this parliament. Since the beginning, that law continues. So we continue to struggle to give it away, our ownership rights 100% free of charge, and struggle to buy it back. So when that situation arises, we go in and we borrow money. So
Kua stated as Minister for Petroleum since 2019, he introduced the draft bill to move PNG away from the concession-based licensing system into a new regime called the Production Serving Arrangement. He said the new cabinet will redraft the bill with his department. Jasmine Nero, TVWAN News.
The domestic economic situation appears to have improved, unlike international economic situation, which is worsening, with key countries likely to head into recession in 2023. Treasurer Ian Lingstaki shared this in his ministerial statement in Parliament. Treasurer Ian Lingstaki has called on members of Parliament to understand what is happening in the world economies as they prepare the 2023 budget in the next session. He said the outlook for global economy had moved to gloomy and more uncertain over the last 2 months.
The international changes are well beyond the control of a country such as ours, where our economy accounts for just 0.03% or 0.3 of the world economy. PNG's economy will be buffeted by these winds of the global economy in the same way as a small raft in a very, very large storm.
The Treasurer added that our export market will be affected in 2023. There will be less opportunities for our cocoa and coffee in the U.S. market. He also clarified that our international interest cost will increase, putting pressure on the 2023 budget, whilst an economic slowdown will put downward pressure on oil prices. This is TV1 News. We'll be back after the break with more.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell Rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell Rice. Skell Life.
Susan, I want something.
And Sunshine Nutri-Strong. And Nupla Blue Plus packet Sunshine Milk.
Ah, Sunshine got Nupla Blue Plus packet milk.
Yes, and good lo walking coffee, tea, na baking scone too. Sunshine Nutri-Strong. And Skell lo making Milo or milk belong all picking long drink too.
Nice, yeah.
And now Sunshine Nutri-Strong. And we got vitamins and minerals too.
Sunshine Nutri-Strong, the new nutritious milk from Sunshine.
SP Lager was there for the birth of our nation. We cheered when we dominated the Pacific Games. And we were full of pride when the Hunters lifted the cup. SP Lager. Cheers to 70 years.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. only making here, no PNG one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
How would you describe your mother?
My mom is beautiful.
She is strong like Superman.
I love my mom because she always takes care of me.
My mom, she's so patient and loving. I feel she's always around.
Karen, she works so hard and always wants the best for me.
She's soft like her love.
My mom is everything, and I don't know what I'd do without her.
Softland, fragrance of a mother's love.
Welcome back. Nipa Kutubu MP Dr. Billy Joseph is calling on the government to review and amend the Oil and Gas Act. Dr. Joseph said the current law does not include districts in the distribution of funds, just local level governments and provincial governments.
Member for Nipa Kutubu, Dr. Billy Joseph, said the Oil and Gas Act allows for 0.75% of the tax component for infrastructure and other development activities in the Oost District and province. However, Dr. Joseph said to this date, no infrastructure and vital services were implemented in Nipa Kutubu District, the Oost LLG in Kutubu. He called on the government to look into this.
To this date, Megan Tokemuna, Tokem is the country also. We have been failed terribly in Nipa Kutubu, especially Kutubu LLG in Mandosawi. There is no infrastructure development in this electorate. For 30 years of oil agreement, 8 years of this gas agreement, PNG LNG project and stuff, nothing. You turn off the Poroma, Nangolo, Kutubu, Waro, this is the road and bush track. You by looking big potol on Namel Road. Santos, all sets, all looking, but all abrusim na, all will drive go can now. Pimaka station and crash pull up. Housing is run down.
Dr. Joseph clarified that with the current oil and gas law, the Open MP has no say in the distribution of funds in terms of tax credit scheme. He is called on the government to amend and review the law so Open MPs can also have a say in how to distribute the funds in the district. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
In health, the Nipa Kutubu MP said he will engage with stakeholders through a public-private partnership to relieve Nipa Hospital from a health center to a level 4 facility.
The people live with us. The district hospital is in my district. You know, the health centers and aid posts are in my district. So I am the most important stakeholder. So the PHS should consult me and the DDA at the district. Oil Sets Foundation should consult me. National Department of Health should consult me. And then we put all our, even the provincial government, and we put all our plans and agendas together, and then we approach it as a holistic. Not PHA flying over and doing the thing somewhere else. Oil Sets Foundation doing something else on the other side. You know, provincial government doing something, district doing something, LLG doing something. It doesn't align, and that's why we do little things. So my agenda for the district first is to make sure that the Nipa District Hospital and the Pimaga District Hospital work.
During the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the new 24-hour ambulance operation center at St. John Ambulance Headquarters, Health Minister Dr. Lino Tom spoke about the government reforms for the health sector. Among these reforms is that emergency practices should be streamed into courses in the higher institutions and obsolete courses be removed.
Minister for Health and HIV Dr. Lino Tom said government is looking at health sector reforms, including emergency practices, which should be streamed into courses in the higher institutions and obsolete courses removed. He said this during the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the new 24-hour ambulance operations center in Port Moresby.
That's, I think, one of the reforms the government is looking at. And it's basically looking at ways where the industry drives that sector. You know, instead of us offering some courses that are obsolete, that no jobs in our sector, especially in this country, we have to provide a way where the industry drives that sector, the need for courses.
Dr. Tom added that through NICTA, the Ambulance Operations Center has features that are made available to St. John Ambulance, like automatically push the telephone GPS location when a person calls 111 and working through NICTA to address nuisance calls to 111 and over 5,000 calls per day.
We will be supporting St. John's to go through our PHAs with key partners like Mission Aviation Fellowship, Samaritan Aviation, Tropic Air, and many others in the delivery of air medical retrieval. We need to see amendments to the Medical Registration Act to formally recognize paramedics so we can train paramedics here in the country in the next decade. I want to personally, as a minister, representing the Prime Minister, thank our dedicated ambulance officers.
In addition, the Prime Minister has made a policy statement that health and its services must be reachable within an hour's drive, walk, or whichever mode of transportation. Dr. Tom said St. John Ambulance has a big part to play in that policy statement. Jasmine Nehru, TVWAN News.
The South Pacific International Container Terminal will soon welcome PNG's first ever ship-to-shore cranes in November 2022. Speak, which is a subsidiary of the International Container Terminal Services, Inc., hosted a breakfast session this morning at the Lake Golf Club to inform stakeholders of this development.
Brand new state-of-the-art ship-to-shore cranes will be arriving at the South Pacific International Container Terminal in Lae next month. SPICT is a subsidiary of the Filipino-owned global port management company, the International Container Terminal Services, Inc. During a breakfast session hosted at the Lake Golf Club, stakeholders were informed that the pair of ship-to-shore cranes will be the largest port handling equipment to arrive in PNG. ICTSI South Pacific CEO Robert Maxwell outlined that the new equipment is part of their ongoing program to strengthen and enhance overall operational efficiency, adding that STS cranes can move over 20 containers per hour and are also electric.
Through PNG ports we have connection to PNG Power. So behind the cranes we have two 2.5 megavolt amp generators, so that if and when the power does get interrupted, the cranes will still run. The fundamental operation of these cranes is that the cargo moves perpendicular to the quay. There's no slew that we have in the old type of ship's gear or mobile harbour crane. The container moving perpendicular means that the container can be safely handled on and off of the ship and on and off of the truck underneath.
The ICTSI signed a 25-year agreement with PNG Ports in 2017 to manage, operate and develop two of PNG's key ports, the South Pacific International Container Terminal in Lae and the Motukea International Terminal in Port Moresby. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
The South Pacific International Container Terminal came under fire for reducing its number of free days on port from 7 to 5. This means a limited time frame is given to companies and organizations to unpack their containers and return them to the shipping line.
The South Pacific International Container Terminal, a subsidiary of global port operator International Container Terminal Services, Inc., was questioned on its corporate social responsibility during its breakfast session at the Lake Golf Club. Highland Products General Manager Stanley Leahy aired his frustration on the number of free days that was reduced from 7 to 5, which gives customers a small window to go through the stringent process of clearing and unpacking their containers. Highland Products is commonly known as Zenek Chicken, one of PNG's largest poultry producers. In response, ICTSI South Pacific CEO Robert Maxwell said the word wharfage is important in understanding the functions and processes of ICTSI.
Wharfage is not charged by ICTSI. Wharfage is charged by the port authority to the shipping line. It is a charge to the line. And we were compelled to keep our handling rate of 430 kina unchanged until 2021. The handling rate from 2018, 19, 20 and half of 2021, because we increased only in July, not January. The first and only change last July 2021 was only 17 kina. And in 2022, we decided to freeze the handling rate again. So the handling charge of whatever it is now, 437 keys for a 20-foot container, hasn't changed. So there is absolutely no justification in accusations of not supporting the community.
Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
You're watching TV1 News. As sports is next. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG é minha! Prime PNG made.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
Open that.
Welcome back. The Vice Minister for Strategic Planning under the Ministry of National Planning and Monitoring and member for Ungai Bena, Kinoka Fio, thanked the international donor agencies and bilateral partners for their contribution to the development in Papua New Guinea. He expressed this during the consultation workshop last week.
Vice Minister for Strategic Planning under the Ministry of National Planning and Monitoring, Kinoka Fio, said he had experienced firsthand the benefit of donor assistance. He thanked them for their contribution to the development in Papua New Guinea. While an employee of the Pacific Adventist University, MP Fio said donor assistance increased the capacity of the university to take in more enrollment and to provide better quality education to more young people. He said also it funded the 10 million kina worth business complex and the School of Nursing dormitory and teaching complex at the cost of 24 million kina.
I remember when I was in high school, I went to Rabaul. I went to this small but very significant rice farm done by JICA. Very practical. Papua New Guineans don't learn by theory. They learn by seeing and getting their hands dirty. And so the agricultural setup done by JICA in Rabaul is very, very effective for our people to learn when they go on site, stay for 6 or so weeks, get a hands-on training, go back and do their programs at home.
On this note, the department-led consultation workshop proceeded with the reviewing of the MTDP3. The one-day workshop was aimed at providing a submission to the Parliament for ratification. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
In sports, here is a sports reporter Terry Longboot with our special report on the Rugby League World Cup.
The Rugby League World Cup officially kicks off tomorrow, Saturday 15th October, with every Rugby League nation keen to kick off their campaign on a winning note. Defending Rugby League World Cup champions, the Australian Kangaroos won't be expecting easy games, with everybody aiming to topple them off their throne. Latest arch rivals Tonga and Samoa have been boosted by a number of stars snubbing Australia to play for their country. Australia has won 8 of the past 9 World Cups, and despite several high-profile defections, the Kangaroos once again start the tournament as red-hot favourites. The New Zealand Kiwis boast one of the best sides at the tournament that destroyed Super League Grand Finalist Leeds 74 points to 0 in a ruthless warm-up match. Coach Michael Maguire has named 6 NRL Grand Finalists from the Panthers and Parramatta for their opening match. Tonga is hopeful of going one better this time around after bowing out in the semi-finals to England in a tight 2018 in 2017. Tonga is a clear favourite to top Group D, which includes PNG, Cook Islands and Wales. Host England came desperately close to taking home the silverware at the 2017 World Cup, losing to Australia 6-0. England has a tough draw placed in Group A with France, Greece and third favourite to take out the title, Samoa. Similarly, Fiji has a squad littered with NRL stars. 2 of the notables are Korosai and Kikau, fresh from the huge Premiership defence with the Panthers. Fiji face Australia in the second match of the competition tomorrow, Saturday 15th October, and will be lining up against Italy and Scotland in Group B as well. PNG is the only country in the world to name rugby league as the national sport. The Kumals, coached by Stanley Teppen, and after a 24-14 upset win over Fiji in the Media Pacific Test, they will be full of confidence going into the tournament. Kumul's first match is against Tonga next Wednesday, 19th October at 6:30 a.m. Samoa, currently ranked 7, and like Tonga, as a host of NRL stars, snubbed the Kangaroos to represent Samoa in this year's World Cup. They are hoping to reach the semi-finals for the first time in the history of Samoan Rugby League. A newest addition to the Rugby League World Cup family is the Reggae Warriors of Jamaica, the first Caribbean nation to qualify for the World Cup, and will make their first appearance in Group C against Ireland, Lebanon and New Zealand. Again, this year's Rugby League World Cup kicks off tomorrow, Saturday, October 15, with England versus Samoa at 11:30 p.m, followed by Australia and Fiji at 4:30 a.m. Sunday morning, followed by Italy versus Scotland at 11:30 p.m. Sunday, October 16. To everybody out there, enjoy the Rugby League World Cup, and remember, go the Kumals.
And that ends the news tonight. Remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.